Hello, dear tutor and classmates. Today I'm going to talk about my thoughts and opinions from the video Creativity in the Classroom. After watching this video, I found it very interesting. I learned many things that I didn't know or that I may knew, sorry, but I didn't take into account, right? So our profession is to enhance our students to learn more, but also to enhance the students to use their creativity in the classroom, not only in projects, but also in exams, in tasks, and in activities that we can do individually and in group. So here I'm going to make some points very quickly about what uh, interested me from the video and some thoughts that are relevant for me uh, talking about creativity in the classroom. So the first one, it says that creativity is something everyone possesses, something extremely true. And we as teachers sometimes we don't uh, take into account that when we take uh, because sometimes we want to uh, the students to do the same, right? But we don't let the students to use their minds, to use their thoughts or creativity, and it is important to let them create something. There is something that is important, and is multiple intelligences, and we should know that all the students and all the people in general have different ways of learning. Right? Somehow, some people learn better by looking, by watching, by listening, and knowing that from that perspective, we could enhance creativity using those intelligences that each student has, and also to bring it to our subject. How from English language we can enhance and we can give a voice to the student to participate, to be creative in class. Now, the second point I make is that we as teachers must be open and take risks. Sometimes because of the curriculum that some class or some institution gives us, we have to, yes, follow a path and not getting off that path. I think to take risk is important because we can do something new, something maybe the students don't expect. And that is very amazing and exciting for them, we as teachers, for us as teachers. So creativity does not mean to be boring. As on the contrary, it means to have fun with our students. Not to only be so grammatical or to maybe use the grammar in a different way, in a way in which the students can perform different tasks, presentation, project. Talking about project is my third point, which is project-based learning. The project-based learning is interesting for students and for we as teachers because it lets the student to organize, to think, be motivated, and to portray their creativity on the projects they are going to do. Yes. So we also have to let the students to create a project on what they love or what they are passionate about. Of course, always going to the subject English and maybe the topic that we are learning. Sometimes we have to get off the road, right? That the students do something different about a topic that they like, right? Um, Next point is creative potential of my students. And in here, I want to make a stress an intrinsic motivation. Intrinsic motivation nowadays, it's, from my point of view, it's not a huge motivation for English students. I have seen many students that learn English because they need it for an exam, because they need it for university, because it's a uh, because it's important, it's uh, relevant that they have to pass the class. But I haven't seen many students with intrinsic motivation, with motivation that is not only to pass or not only uh, to have good grades, but to have fun and create an environment for them in the classroom. So I think that to improve or to encourage the creative potential of my students, we have to let the students enjoy, yes, the class, and not maybe grading at some point. I know that grading is important, but at some point it's good that we don't grade those the students. Let them be free to talk about any topic that they want and to do a project or a task that they would love to do. Of course, I stand here some important points or things to avoid for this. So the first one is not encouraging competition, right? Um, Competition makes that the students feel under pressure and they don't enjoy the learning, but feel like it's something that they must do. The second point is focus on the student self-improvement. So in here is to let the students or teach the students or help the students to improve their own uh, methodology, their own learning environment, their own um, way of learning the language. Number three is to create an environment where students can take control of their own learning. This is this is cool because it lets the student to again enhance creativity and they can control of their own learning. That means that they can see what's the best way in which they are going to learn. Of course, this is important, but we have to guide them, right? Number four, not using rewarding to them instead of that. Help them to take pride and celebrate their accomplishments. Sometimes using rewarding like a grade or like a congratulating thing will make them feel proud, yes, but it could let the other students to not feel that way or feel disappointed. It is important with each student to let them know that they should be proud and they should celebrate with every accomplishment they do. But on the other hand, it is important to reinforce uh, or to tell them that it's not correct mistake, but always trying to understand why they say that. Always to have a conversation and have a discussion with the student and saying, well, why do you say that? I mean, I want to know. Not only, no, that's incorrect. Yes, but why? Yes, the students want to know why it's incorrect. Here, it's important to have a discussion with the student and say, okay, well, you say this. In my experience, it's incorrect, but I want to know why do you think this is correct? And finally, having discussion in class, it is good for the students to compare what they thought and learn to be empathic. Teamwork, basically. Teamwork is important because the students are going to interact with the others and they are going to understand what the other says, also to respect opinions. That is extremely important for our society. We need, not only in class, but outside the class, we need to respect the other's opinions, have a discussion in order to maybe get some points. The other point that I want to do, and this is the last one, is challenge the students to think by themselves. Sometimes we as teachers, yes, we want to help the students, but sometimes we make mistakes by telling them everything. And it's good, it's critical that the students can analyze by themselves, use their imagination to think about it deeply, right? To reflect and analyze what we are doing, to analyze what is the class about? Why am I learning English? To analyze a specific topic, to analyze a specific activity, And then if that student have questions, of course, we are there as teachers, as educators to guide them. And in that way, to use the resources we have, right? Not only the teacher, but the other resources, books, the internet, learners, okay? So we can all use resources we have in school, at home, or an institute to foster creativity in our students. Also take some risk in our methodologies and techniques. When you take risks, you never expect what is going to happen, and that is exciting for you and for your students. Another aspect is to let your students know what your passions are. And in this point, this is the last point, and I want to make an emphasis in here. Because yes, we are teachers, but we also are people who are there to help the students. Not only in a specific subject, but also in life. You will always remember us, the bad teacher or as a good teacher. So to tell the students what are your likes, your dislikes, will make a connection between your students and you. They are going to understand that the teacher is not a grumpy teacher and that they can own the teacher, right? So that's all I have to say. Um, and I want to finish with this final um, uh, final thing that I wrote, and it's creativity must be encouraged by teachers, educators, and family. So we are the ones who are in charge of encourage creativity to ours. So thank you very much for your attention.